Besides that PHQ-9 at 12 years old, we're also doing a HEADS interview. HEADS is an interview, it's an acronym, HEADSSS. We go into the 3 S's. One of them is safety, and that's as simple as, oh, are you wearing your bike helmet when you ride your skateboard or ride your bike? Do you wear your seatbelt? You're welcome, safety. But then the next S goes into suicide. And I am asking that question. Do you have thoughts of hurting or killing yourself? And the last S is a subject that no parent wants to talk to their kid about. Sex. But it's happening. You don't want to know about it, but it's happening. Even here in Bahrain. But this generation is definitely more open with experiencing and experimenting. And so I ask those tough questions. Do you identify as a male, female, non-binary? If you had a crush on someone, is it a male or a female? Do you have a significant other? And yes, I'm asking them if they are having sex. At 12 years old, not the clinic policy, not AOR policy, it is Big Navy, BUMED, DHA. At 12 years old, parents cannot look at their children's medical records online. At 15 or 16, because it depends on state law, but that is, on average, that's the biggest time, it's 15 or 16 years old, there are 4 things a child can come into clinic and schedule their own appointment, and we don't have to tell their parents. Mental health, so anxiety, depression. I do have, I'm a mandatory reporter, so I do have to tell parents about any thoughts or plans to kill someone else and themselves. But just regular anxiety, depression, I can see them without telling their parents. It's gonna hurt some people. Birth control. Birth control. We can have those conversations with the kids. How important is it that you have that open rapport with your kids so you can talk to them before they're coming to their PCM? What goes along with that? Pregnancy tests. 15, 16-year-old, they can come in for a pregnancy test and we do not have to alert their family. And lastly, sexually transmitted infections.
When did this policy of preventing parents from being able to access their minor children's medical records start?
I'm not sure of when it happened online. So the question was, when did it start on not allowing parents to see minor children's medical records? I'm not sure. I've been a practicing provider for 6 years, and that's as far as I've known that it's been the case that you're not allowed to see once you're 12 years old. You can come into clinic and you can request those records, but you can't get it online.
So it's just only online?
Correct.
So if a parent wants to come in and find out what's going on with their children's quote-unquote care, they have full access to those medical records, and the providers can't hide any of that or keep these conversations secret from the parents.
If they come in. And I would definitely recommend. So when they come in for any of these concerns and their parents don't know, I encourage them. I build that rapport and I encourage them to talk to their parents. Because then, think about it. If they have that trust, that provider, and then you're coming in and getting their medical records, you're breaking that trust. You're not building that trust with that child.
So the only issue I have with that, they're a minor child. They are not of consenting age, correct? So if we're sitting there,
They can't hear back there.
So I don't understand how, because I have a 17-year-old and almost 12-year-old, and I've never been notified of this policy until I just heard about it the other day. And personally, I think it's absolutely abhorrent that medical professionals will keep that kind of information from parents, especially if there's some kind of pregnancy or especially some kind of STI or anything like that, and especially when it comes to gender. There's so many things that are poisoning our kids' minds on social media when it comes to this gender ideology, and then medical professionals are now no longer required to disclose that kind of information to parents. I think is absolutely abhorrent, disgusting. as a parent, if someone kept that kind of information from me, and I don't know if you can tell, but I am shaking right now because I am furious, that you would sit there and think that it's okay to hide that kind of information from a parent, a minor child, because I'll tell you what, that is absolutely important to me. And if I ever find out that my child is going through this issue and I wasn't notified, I will go after every single person's medical license that had anything to do with my child, because I will do anything to keep my children safe. So I think it's absolutely disgusting.
Thank you. Thank you for your opinion. Thank you for your opinion. Just like you are an advocate for your child, I am an advocate for your child. And so when they come in and they disclose that information, sometimes I'm the first person that they have told. And that has happened here in Bahrain. I'm the first person that they've given that information. And so then we have a discussion. I have that rapport with them. If they're open enough to tell me that information, then we talk about, hey, I really think you should talk to your parents. I really think they would be able to help you. But then there are parents that don't want to hear it. They're very closed-minded. And they don't want to hear it. And that's why they keep those secrets. And that's why we have teenage suicides.
So you're saying that the minor child, someone who can't consent to anything, who's not a legal adult, you're saying that minor child, they have, and the medical, quote-unquote medical professional has more rights than the parent over that child. That's the Navy's policy.
I would encourage you to talk to your child.
That's not what I asked you, ma'am. I'm asking you, according to this policy.
Again, policy. I didn't make it.
I'm not accusing you, ma'am. I'm simply calling out the Navy that the policy gives more rights or circumvents a parent's rights to know, is what you're saying. That's the Navy's official policy.
Yes.
All right.
Any other questions?